Hello people, David here again with another BTech, the tech channel that actually puts in a bit of effort. You only see slick reviews here, and today I've got a camera review of the Honor 8X, which is a budget phone. You can pick one up for just £220. So for that money, you can't really expect too much from the camera, can you? Well, I've been out and about and I've taken a bunch of samples, and honestly, this thing has surprised me a few times with what it's actually capable of. So what exactly do we have here? Well, on the rear, there's a 20 megapixel sensor with an f1.8 lens paired with a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And on the front is a 16 megapixel selfie camera with an f2.0 lens. Both of these cameras have improved AI abilities thanks to the processing power of the new Kirin 710 and its neural processing unit. Usually when shooting with AI cameras, I end up being forced to switch it off because it just keeps ruining the pictures. But interestingly, this time I didn't feel compelled to do that. Okay, it did still mess up some pictures, and pretty badly too, but sometimes it will do an amazing job. Saturation can be very strong, especially with the greens, but there is an artistic quality to a lot of the images. The focusing distance is very close, and the digital zoom can be used to get even closer. The digital zoom really did surprise me, even at maximum magnification. It's hard to tell that you're using a digital zoom. These shots are perfectly usable. Being able to zoom like this and still get a good picture makes this camera a lot of fun to use, and there's plenty more shooting modes to play around with. So let's open up the camera app and have a look. By default, it's set to the basic photo mode. When you're in this mode, you get a set of options at the top. The first one is scan, which just allows you to scan QR codes and barcodes. Next one is the flash toggle, which has auto mode and can be either turned on, off, or have it always on, which is useful for when shooting video. There is a toggle switch for the moving pictures. Tap this and it will record a brief moment of video just before you took the shot, to give you a sense of what was going on at the time. Next to that is the AI toggle switch. By default, this is set on, and this will allow the AI to recognize the scene it's looking at and adjust the settings automatically. And finally at the top, there's a settings cog. Click this to get access to settings like GPS tag, add watermarks, and so on. Capture smiles will automatically take a picture when it detects somebody smiling, and the ultra snapshot function will take a very quick photo by double tapping the volume key when the screen is off. So all those buttons and switches at the top are only there in photo mode. Switch to portrait mode and you're only given the beautification options and the bokeh toggle switch to adjust the amount of background blur. Beautification by default is set to 5, which is pretty strong if you ask me. But if you push it all the way up to 10, then all I can say is results may vary. But before we go on, I want to say a big thank you to Direct Mobiles. They sponsor us here at BTech and have a great selection of phones at excellent prices. Their link is in the video description below. They're definitely well worth a look. Plus, they have over 23 years of award-winning customer service. Check for yourself, click the video description below or search directmobiles.co.uk. To the left of portrait mode is night mode, which is basically the same as the night mode in the P20 Pro. But obviously without the triple lens setup, it doesn't quite bring the same results. But it's not far off, and it's still very impressive. The Honor will take multiple exposures for a few seconds in this mode, allowing you to get a good shot even in very little light. Aperture mode allows you to manually adjust a simulated aperture from f.95 down to f16, and it does work very well. Obviously it's not flawless, and you can see that in this shot. Although to be fair, this is a very tricky shot for the AI to perfectly isolate that pigeon. On the right side of the photo mode, there's the video mode. Video is shot up to 1080p 60 frames per second, and in good light, the quality is not too bad at all. Noise is quite strong, however, in low light, and even in my, what I would call, not so dimly lit kitchen, the 8X still struggles with suppressing that noise. There is no stabilizer, so the videos can be a bit shaky unless you're very careful. I did notice that when shooting at 60 frames per second, that the low light abilities suffer a little bit, and the autofocus is much slower than it is at 30 frames. To the right of the video tab is the More tab. Here we have a few more interesting shooting modes. First is the Pro mode, giving you control of all the camera functions. The ISO range is from 50 to 3200, and the shutter speed goes from 1/4000th of a second right down to 8 seconds, long enough to get some cool effects like light trails or motion blur into your shot. Slow motion allows you to record a video at 480 frames per second, which will slow down the footage 16 times, giving you dramatic shots of even fairly mundane things. This is only available for short bursts though. However, they have added an auto capture function, similar to what's found on the flagship Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. A white box is drawn onto the screen, and when movement is detected within the box, the recording is started. And for a continuous recording, you can switch to a 4x slowdown at 120 frames per second. The HDR is a separate mode underneath the More tab, so it won't work automatically, and it's not really easy to get to either, being under the More tab, but it does work well. Panorama is there, giving you what I think is about a 270-degree image. I found it simple to use and it gave good instructions on how to get the shot. How much do I want to embarrass myself by showing you the AR lens? Well, honestly guys, not that much, but there is quite a few different masks and backgrounds to play around with. Light painting is a long exposure mode, so the shutter is held open to allow light to streak across the screen. And you get 4 different modes, from traffic trails, light graffiti, star trails, and silky water. It's kind of an easy way of achieving long exposure shots, and is best used with a tripod. There is also a time-lapse mode which shoots at 720p, filters give you the standard photo filters that you'd find in most phones, and with watermark you get quite a big selection of captions to overlay on your photos. And finally there's the download tab, which has a few more camera features to download, such as good food, watermark which I already did download and install, and document scan. The front camera is a 16 megapixel shooter, and although generally the performance is very good, sometimes the AI can go wild with the over sharpening. Switching to portrait or aperture mode does soften the image a bit, and in my opinion gives a better image when it comes to taking selfies. But overall, the camera performance, and considering this price point, is head and shoulders above everybody else. Some smartphone cameras are enjoyable to use, so it compels you to take pictures with them. This is definitely one of those smartphones. With the ability to zoom, you get great macro shots, you get great night shots, there's even slow motion. Okay, it's not perfect, but when you compare it to the camera systems of similarly priced phones, you're getting a lot for your money here. So if you like the look of this phone and you happen to buy one, then Honor are running a competition at the moment. They want people who have purchased the Honor 8X to create and upload their own unboxing and review videos. They will pick a winner on a weekly basis for the duration of the contest. The winners will get an Honor Band 4 and the final winner will get an Honor Magic 2, which I saw a preview of at the launch of the Honor Play in Berlin, and it looks like it's going to be a really great phone. Completely bezel-less with a slide-up camera, and it will be the first Honor to have the Kirin 980. But anyway, that's it from me. If you made it this far into the video, thanks very much for watching. It'd be great if you could hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell and smash that like button to be notified every time we post a video here at BTech. And we've got a lot of good stuff on the way, so make sure you're subbed so you don't miss out. I'm David Wildman and this was BTech.